the idea of success for a musician is constantly changing, and when we started, for me it was very much like I wanted to be able to play a gig at Barbadega. Okay, so my name is Sam Scott, and I'm in a band called the Phoenix Foundation, and we've been together for 20 years now. So I guess we've sort of been a band that has got longevity. We've never kind of had the massive highs of big hits or anything like that, but we've always been kind of able to do our thing and sustain a bit of a music life. What I wanted to do, I wanted to be as big as a band like Letterbox Lambs, so that we could get 60 people to Barbadega and it would be a great show. And that was seriously like my ambition. It was that small. I mean, I love Letterbox Lambs, but no one's probably heard of them these days, but they were a cool band at that time that we looked up to. Then you get to do that, and then you think, oh, well, I'd like to maybe play a slightly bigger venue and maybe get a few more people along. And then you think, well, we'd definitely get more people to our show if we had something on the radio. The whole time you're making music because you want to make music and you want to make the cool music, and the success for me at the start wasn't really the thing I was thinking about. I was thinking, I'd love to play a gig because that'd be fun, so how do we make that gig feel all right? It was more like the people who are in the Phoenix Foundation today have played together in different forms since we started playing music, you know. So me and Conrad and Luke had a little three-piece band with Conrad playing the drums and Luke playing the bass and me sort of singing terrible songs when we were like 14. And then those guys started a heavy metal band, and then they needed a singer, and I think they were both too shy to sing, so they got me to do that, even though I didn't really know anything about heavy metal and didn't really like the genre that much. I thought, oh well, I just want to be in a band. It was always like this thing of like our friends and just our circle of mates, and that stayed with the band in terms of, you know, making music videos and doing stuff for interesting performances. And, you know, there was always a group of people from Wellington High. You know, it was a group of people who were all pushing each other, I guess. And I think at the time we were like, wow, it's amazing that we're all like artists and we're all kind of got these cool ideas and everything. And I think now, looking back on it 20 years later, I kind of go, oh, we were all actually quite privileged and entitled, and we kind of had a world around us that allowed us to do that, and we were very lucky. It wasn't that we were all geniuses, it was that we kind of saw an opportunity to be creative people and somehow get away with it. I hadn't really tried to kind of be good at that point. Like I just really hadn't tried to write a good song. So then I sat down and I wrote a song called The Drinker, and then I wrote a song called This Charming Van, and then I wrote a song called Let Me Die a Woman, and that was all in the space of, you know, maybe a few months or something. And those three songs are kind of quite a progression where you sort of start to see someone kind of learning how to be a songwriter and how to have their own voice, I guess. you make the music that just comes naturally most of the time, and then you try to make the music you want to make, but that doesn't necessarily work. Cody Nielsen has just put out this record of birthday songs. They're all songs that he's written for people in his family as kind of little birthday presents, and I saw him at a festival and I told him that I thought it was a really lovely idea, a really cool idea for an album, and he said, yeah, well, you've got to have some reason to make music, so I thought, why not make it for my family. We're not successful enough that music would make our lives too different. So for me, my life is very much 95% centered around making sure my family is all right and supporting my wife and being supported by my wife and having a good reciprocal relationship and a good relationship with my children. And I don't think being a musician particularly comes into that. Going on tour can be pretty crappy for, just being away from the family and that sort of thing, but we don't do that often, so it's not a big deal. I think if we were really successful and I had to tour like 8 months a year, that would definitely be a very negative thing for family life, but it would also we'd have heaps of money, so maybe it would balance out, but I don't know. I'm not in that position, so all I know is that for me, music is a cool thing to do, and I get to have a career out of it, but it's at that level where I also get to have a very normal life like anyone else.